Hi, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in to Poetic Justice, hosted with the NAACP Chicago Westside branch. My name is Jamesia Banks, and I'm just going to give you guys our information really fast. We are located at 5820 West Chicago Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60651. If you would like to reach us, our phone number is 773-261-5890. All right, you guys, today we are just going to be talking a little bit about how to build the black dollar. So we want to just take looks at the consumer market, our black buying power, and how we can recycle our black dollars back to our black communities. All right, you guys. So the African American consumer market, in recent times, popular companies, they have witnessed the power of Black Twitter and the brand impact of socially conscious Black consumers through social media. Black consumers have taken a seat at the table directly, and they are demanding that brands and marketers speak to them in ways that resonate culturally and experientially. So basically, Black consumers are speaking directly to these brands in unprecedented ways and achieving headline-making results, such as when we were upset about the H&M shirt with the black young boy wearing it and it said "Monkey of the Jungle," or simply when Colin Kaepernick was fired from the NFL for standing up for what he believed in, and how Nike supported him and Black consumers directly went to support Nike because they supported our cause. So with African Americans spending $1.3 trillion annually, companies basically have a lot to lose. So on this presentation, I just want you guys to see the power of the black dollars in a form. If you look at the ethnic hair and beauty aids, a total spent is $63.5 million. Of that $63.5 million, Black people spend $54.4 million of that dollar. If you look at men toiletries, out of the $308.3 million, $62 million directly comes from Black people. If you look at the women's fragrances or feminine hygiene, anything on this list, it definitely shows that the black dollar is very important and it is greater in proportion to the population. And this is on the Nielsen report. So we also want to say that this same study shows that black dollar only lasts hours within our community. So most of these businesses are not black-owned businesses, or companies rather. They are not black-owned companies, and this, every time we get a dollar, we are sending the dollar right back out of the community. So how can we change this? How can we reinvest our dollar back into our community? We just want to take a look on how the cycle began. So if you guys pay attention, there is a Dartmouth professors back in 1998. It was showed that the loan rejection for rates for blacks were twice as high as those for whites, with a similar kind of credit. The issues include everything from the lack of access to capital to historically working for free, essentially. And this created a legacy where groups see us as merely consumers and laborers rather than employers, because we don't have the financial means to create our institutions. And just literally from the abstract of this, it says a series of specification checks indicates that this gap is unlikely to be explained by omitted variable bias. So this is just a bias why we were having higher interest rates, that we cannot pay off these loans, so we cannot reinvest money properly into the communities, such as having buildings to have your businesses rented out of, or having buildings to have inheritance for your children. And it's just very important to raise your children to have them understand the power of the dollar. And I did want to bring up a video where we have of this young lady, Miss Angel Rich, on the Breakfast Club. She was explaining how important it is to raise your children and have them understand what the value of $1 is. So let's check her out.
Wow. Now, you got a book, History of the Black Dollar.
Yes.
Okay, why do you think black people historically haven't been able to make their dollar work for them?
Well, the main part of it is group economics. Like, when I was younger, I'm from Cayman Park, the first black neighborhood in the country. And my great-grandmother always made us shop in D.C. as well as with black people. Mm-hmm. Like, she was adamant about it. We would have to drive around for miles just to find this specific person sometimes. And I never understood it until I wrote the book. And so a part of my research, it would take us over 250 years to be able to catch up with our counterparts if we do not exercise group economics. And so it's essential. That's the only way that we're going to be able to close this wealth gap. We have to be able to put our money where our mouth is and actually collectively share.
You know, why do you think it's so hard for our community to do that? Like, you look at other communities, whether it's the Jewish community, the Russian community, Italian community, they're able to put their money together and build blocks, build communities. Seems like with our community, we're scared to, we just don't want to.
And there's a lot of roadblocks for us as well.
To be straight to the point about it, I would say the problem would be Willie Lynch, obviously. And then the solution would be, in other cultures, they start financially educating their children at a young age on group economics. When the Jewish kids are going to school in the evening, they're actually going to finance and economics school. They're learning about finance before they even get out of elementary school. And so,
All right, so what she mentioned, Ms. Angel Rich, about having your children become aware of group economics, bank accounts, investing, it is very important to learn that at an early age, because this is how you flourish here in the United States. Basically, financial literacy is the possession of the set of skills and knowledge to make informed and effective decisions based on all of your financial resources. And there's plenty of financial resources that we don't even know exist simply because we don't have enough financial literacy. So one thing I think that we should definitely do is incorporate financial literacy in schools. So from K through 8, I believe that it is important that we educate children on how to get a bank account, how to invest in loans, how to make sure you get a proper interest rate, how to buy things that will be an investment, things that would appreciate rather than depreciate. So let's just take a look at the list of ways that we can reinvest back into the black communities. So with the financial literacy, with K through 12, we want to make sure that children know about saving habits, economic benefits, social responsibilities, and most importantly, the negative effects of lacking financial responsibility. We want to make sure that we buy a life insurance plan from a black agent and open a bank account investment fund with a black bank. I know that these are things that we do not think of, but seeing in recent times how if someone dies and they don't have life insurance, we are dependent on a GoFundMe to properly bury someone, and the funeral costs may be $8,000 to $10,000, and definitely that's putting you more in debt rather than helping the family out. Not only will a life insurance plan cover the funeral costs, it can also be used as a inheritance. So make sure that you have something to leave back to your next generation, your kids, your nephews, whomever that you want to leave something with. A life insurance plan is definitely important to have. So you want to make sure that you go look into it and buy a life insurance plan from a black agent. Again, we want to recycle our dollars back into the community. Next thing, you want to make sure that you find black businesses that you will frequent. So this can go from grocery stores to your accountants to even hotels that you stay with. Black women, where we get our nails done, where we shop to get our hair products. We want to make sure that we are trying to go to a black-owned space where we eat our foods. We want to make sure we're going to a black-owned food or restaurant. And this is important because, identifying with these companies that offer services that will help boost our commitment to them. And it will also help put jobs in our communities to help pay for people that live directly here in our communities. And if we can help pay people that live in our communities, we will have more influence, decision making over our communities. And we also just want to make sure that a study was published in our Black Year, and it basically says up to 1 million jobs could be created if Black hosts spent $1 of every $10 on a Black-owned business. So if we even just start to think of that way, if we put more money out, we are getting more back in as a community. Another thing that we want to consider is entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship may sound very difficult to start off with, and the whole stigma of Black people not supporting Black businesses. But the thing is, we just do not have enough Black businesses, and we don't have enough marketing of those Black businesses. In recent times, and especially in generations of millennials, Generation Z's, became a hashtag as Buy Black. So we are definitely trying to support people that are trying entrepreneurship. And typically, entrepreneurs grow their companies at 2% annually. So that means that it can happen very fast if we just come together and just make sure everything is proper. So overall, you guys, we just want to try to reinvest our dollar back into our community. And it all starts with the education and the knowledge of how to go to reinvest. You want to go refinance any high loans that you have, or if you want to go invest in a property to have residual income coming in. And the life insurance, that is very, very, that's very high importance. That is the key to success, to make sure that that is an inheritance program for your children. You want to make sure that you leave them with something behind. And that is basically it, you guys. If you guys want to call in and chat with me of other ways that you guys think that we can definitely help recycle our dollar, you can call us at 312-738-1060. I was just thinking we can reinvest by donating to our CPS schools, not even with money, with books, with time, with effort. This all goes into the educational part of it. Our CPS schools in Chicago, we are a Black community. It is becoming very gentrified. And I think if we just had education in the forefront, everything will excel and go on. And I definitely believe that we should bring financial literacy to schools. But if that is not it, I hope you guys found this podcast to be very enlightening, and check out some books on financial literacy. I do want to tell you guys we are the Chicago Westside branch of the NAACP, and our meetings are every first Saturday of the month at 1 p.m. We are located at 5820 West Chicago Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60651, and you can contact us at 773-261-5890. My name is Jamesia Banks, and thank you so much for listening. You guys have a great night.